All right, in this video, let's talk about the Disneyland Resort. Is it running out of room? Is it running out of space to expand? I got a great question from a subscriber the other day. I'm going to read you the question and then we're going to dig right in. And the question comes from Jason is no longer SpongeBobbing. And Jason is asking, with Disneyland / DCA now being out of room with the completion of Mickey's Runaway Railway and the Avengers, what do you think will Disneyland do in the future? What rides / restaurants do you think Disney can replace? Well, Jason, this is a fantastic question, and thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. What do I think Disneyland is going to do? Now, first and foremost, I kind of want to set the table here a little bit, okay? We have to kind of get out of our mind the mindset of like, what's established right now is untouchable, okay? Because if you would have said to me or anybody 5, 6, 10 years ago, okay, where are they going to put Galaxy's Edge? Everyone would have kind of defaulted into like, oh, well, the old motorboat cruise area, or, you know, this or that. We never would have guessed they would have got rid of backstage areas and reduced the Rivers of America and squeezed it behind Frontierland. I mean, nobody would have predicted that. So when we're talking about space at the Disneyland Resort, it's very important to know that Disney is very creative in making space when they want to do it, right? When they want something at that park or at that resort, they're going to find the room, okay? Galaxy's Edge is a perfect example of that, okay? But if we're just looking at the chessboard right now, where can they expand? Well, there's actually a lot more space, real estate available than you would think. Let's start with Disneyland. Okay, so with Disneyland, there's a lot of room here. Now, first of all of Tomorrowland is expendable except Space Mountain, right? I mean, Star Tours, Buzz Lightyear, the submarines, Autopia. Yes, Autopia. Dave, my buddy Dave from Fresh Baked. I know you love Autopia, man, but it's expendable, dude. It's a huge piece of acreage. It's outdated. I can definitely see them going into the Autopia area. So there's a lot of land just in that Tomorrowland area of the park, right? Like, you have so much room in Tomorrowland between Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours and the Submarine Voyage and Star Wars Launch Bay that you can really work with, okay? So they have all that space there, including the Tomorrowland plot of land, the old motorboat cruise area, which adds a lot more acreage. There's a lot of property on that whole side of Disneyland, and there's a lot of potential there, right? Another piece of property they can work with is the Fantasyland Theater that does the Mickey Magical Map show. Very cute show, but the theater, let's be honest, is hideous. That vinyl ugly circus tent is hideous, okay? And it's actually a pretty good amount of space right there. They could definitely bulldoze that and put a dark ride, okay? Now, granted, I would be sad to lose the entertainment, you know, of a live performance, live production, you know, venue. But I mean, when you're low on space, you're low on space, and the rides really should come first. So that's another possible spot that Disneyland can expand on. Another opportunity is going into the backstage area. You know, even after Galaxy's Edge, even after Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, we still have backstage buildings that they can encroach on, they can move in on. Those are on the table. I mean, we've seen it already with Galaxy's Edge and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. They can do it again. So anything backstage, even the Team Disney Anaheim building itself is on the table, right? So all that area behind Toontown is basically up for grabs, in my opinion. Now, let's go to the other side of the resort, to California Adventure. Now, where can we expand at California Adventure? Now, he's right. You know, Jason is right. Once they build the Avengers e-ticket coaster, there's no more like vacant land for DCA. But there's still a ton of room to expand. You still have all of Hollywood, which is essentially California Adventure's Tomorrowland, right? The Monsters Incorporated ride, which is completely expendable. The Sunset Theater, which used to house the Muppets 3D attraction, completely expendable. All those empty buildings that that used to do, like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Hollywood and Dine, that's all expendable. There's nothing, zero in Hollywoodland that is not expendable. So that entire land is basically a blank canvas. So DCA has all that land to expand upon. Whether they want to continue the Hollywood theme, whether they want to expand Marvel into that, that's up for grabs. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot of room there to work with. Another piece of property I think at DCA that is expendable is the Paradise Garden Grill, which I love the Mediterranean kebabs at that place. But you know what? It's an eatery. It is expendable. You can put a dark ride there. That in conjunction with the Goofy Sky School, which is, again, an off-the-shelf ride that's very expendable. Also, you got to understand, like, the Golden Zephyr, which is right across the way, the Jumpin' Jellyfish attraction. All that stuff in that back end of DCA is really, really expendable. Okay, they can put something there. Now, this next thing might be a little more controversial. I think Pixar Pier is expendable. I think the whole pier concept is expendable. I think that the body of water, right, is something that you need to have at DCA, because you need the world of color. You need some sort of body of water in every park, in my opinion. But the carnival rides, the coaster, the Ferris wheel, and all that stuff, in my opinion, could go. If Disney decided they wanted to expand California Adventure and they wanted to put some other sort of seaside, really immersive, awesome area around the lagoon, something in lines with like what Disney Sea has with like Mediterranean Harbor or something like that, I would support that. I want to keep the body of water. I want to keep World of Color, but I just don't think that the pier theme is essential to the park. I really don't. Now, do I think that's going to happen anytime soon? No, I do not, but it's definitely a possibility. Okay, those rides are not really that immersive. You can definitely put something a lot more impressive in that area that'll be, better themed, that'll block out the outside world better. There's a lot of potential over there. So I think that's kind of like a last resort thing. If they wanted to, they can definitely change Pixar Pier. So like I said, there's a lot of potential at the Disneyland Resort. There's a lot of land that has either wasted land or whatever, but there's a lot of room to work with, essentially. Now, eventually, we're going to get to the point where they're going to have to start looking outside of the current perimeter. They're going to have to start, looking for like a third gate. Okay. Now, for the third gate, I think the Toy Story lot, which is about 100 acres, not too far from the resort, I think that's the best spot to put a third park. You can put a DCA-sized park on that piece of property. I think that's where they should go. I really do. It's close enough. The acres are there. They could definitely do it, but we'll see. I think right now, though, between Tomorrowland, the Motorboat and Autopia cruise areas, and Hollywoodland at DCA, I think we have at least 10 or 15 years of stuff we could work on before we have to worry about a third park. But what is your opinion? What are your thoughts on, running out of room at Disneyland Resort? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear from each and every one of you. I do content on the Disney parks, Disney movies, Disney Plus, all the time. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.